What's up, Bomb Squad? It's Jason Sircone back with you for another installment of Podcasting Strategy Simplified. Today on episode 96, I'm answering another one of those burning questions that you probably have asked yourself in the past. Today's question is, why do some podcast episodes perform dramatically better than others? And more than likely, at some point in your podcasting journey, you've put an episode out and the thought that ran through your mind was, okay, this is the one. When it goes live, this is going to be the episode that everybody's been waiting for. And then it goes live and it doesn't meet those expectations. Now, again, we have a tendency to put some arbitrary goals in our mind and saying, okay, this is going to hit these massive numbers, but we don't really define what that massive number is. We just feel that if it's bigger than what the past episodes did, then we've done something right. And this goes back to that old chestnut of getting too wrapped up in the download metrics. But the reason why, and it's one of many reasons why an episode might not do as well as the one before it, is simply because it's just not what your audience is looking for. Now, I can understand that it might feel a little frustrating that this week's episode didn't do as well as you thought it might, nor did last week's or maybe even the weeks before, but then the one before that had bigger numbers. When you're dialing in your podcast content, it's very important to listen to your audience. And one of the ways that your audience will tell you that you're giving them what they want is by an increased download metric. Now, I'm going to stop myself because, as I've said before on this show, if you're in the very beginning process, this is not something that you should be paying attention to. Your focus should be on your craft. It should be on getting better at what you do. It should be with dialing in your message so you make sure the content that you are delivering is what your audience wants for the long term. And in the beginning phases of building your podcast, and even when you're into the throes of it, deeper than 50 episodes, maybe you're even in that 100 episode mark and you're still trying to find your way. Believe me, that is not uncommon. This is not something that you just pick up and figure out in the first few episodes. It takes time to truly get dialed in and to have all the pieces fall into place the way that you want them to. So if you see an episode that is performing way better than any of your other episodes, the best thing you can do with that is identify what you talked about on that episode and look at how you promoted that episode, because maybe you took a couple extra steps to get more content out there to let people know that this episode was, in fact, live and ready for them to consume. Or if more people did come in because they found it through organic discovery, that's a good thing too. And it also tells you you've got something that they want to hear. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, double down on content just like that, because your audience is telling you that's what they want to hear. So when you see an episode take off quicker than one of the other ones, or maybe over time it's just doing better than some of the other ones, there are a lot of factors that you can focus on, but make sure the biggest one that you pay attention to is the fact that it's performing better for a reason, and there are most likely ways that you can duplicate it. Simply evaluate what you did to create that content, look at what you talked about, how did it deliver on the message that you were looking to deliver, and focus on creating more content like that. And also keep in mind that your podcast downloads should also be evaluated as a whole, not just on one episode. Because at various points in someone's listening journey, they are going to find your podcast, and it might not be the most recent episode that you've produced. It may be something that goes all the way back to the very beginning. The most important thing is that they're finding your podcast and it's making the impact that they were looking for. So if you continue to create new content and deliver on your message, people are going to find that content at various stages in their journey. And as long as you are helping them move the needle, that's what's going to keep them coming back for more. And a big thing that helps make your show pop off is when they start to share it with others, because you are now recommendable. And they're always going to recommend the things they enjoy and the things that are helpful. That's what they're going to push off to their colleagues, to their friends, to their inner circle. That is where you will see true growth with your podcast. And with that, I'm going to bring down the curtain on this installment of Podcasting Strategy Simplified. Until our paths cross again on the next episode, my name is Jason Sircone, reminding you that podcasting isn't easy, but it doesn't need to be complicated. I'll see you next time.